Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Bert the Stormtrooper and this is the home of That's Just Prime, the comprehensive Optimus Prime review series. I also review other Transformers, lots of G1 stuff, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, GoBots, and pretty much any other toy that may jump out at me. I also do the occasional arcade and pinball machine videos, unboxings, blogs, challenges, and miscellaneous videos where my daughter usually makes fun of me. Those are a lot of fun. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking me out. Please be sure to click that subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share if you like what you see.
Autobots, roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mastermind Creations U01 Stellarus Prominion, and I love this toy. This is from their Ocular Max Unlimited Series. It is brand new and starting to hit online stores right now as of the time of this recording, and it retails for approximately $140, and I absolutely love this toy. This is their take on a Star Convoy, which is one of my all-time favorite versions of Optimus Prime, and this thing is just absolutely beautiful. So here we have everything that comes included when you get your Stellarus Prominion. I'm going to tell you right now, I am probably throughout this review going to shift away from calling him Stellarus, and I'm probably going to end up calling him Optimus Prime or Star Convoy. That's just force of habit. Bear with me. But here's everything that you get with it. This box is absolutely stunning. I am not a box keeper. I usually don't I get rid of my boxes. But man, I'm really considering keeping this one just because I absolutely adore that artwork. Check that out. That's absolutely stunning. Over on the side here, we've got product shots of Stellarus, both in his vehicle and in his robot mode. Man, that robot mode is just absolutely stunning. Some more product shots of Stellarus. You can see that you can mount the gun on the roof there, and it is articulated. We'll take a look at that here shortly. More articulation points here or features really to show on the vehicle mode. More vehicle mode, robot mode. That robot mode is just stunning. And again, I think these are the same pictures that we had over here. No, it's just different poses. But again, you got vehicle, you got robot, and that's about it. Let's get rid of the packaging for a sec. And let's take a look at a couple other things that he comes included with. Let's talk about this real quick. So, right out of the box, he comes with a repair kit. Okay, actually, this wasn't even in the box. This came separate from the box. So the package came with that box that I just showed you, and then this little Ziploc bag was in there with some pieces that I've already put on him and instructions. So there is an issue with his knee joints not holding up the weight of the robot. And on this first release, what they've done is they are sending it out with a repair kit that you have to fix. So you do have to open up the legs. The instructions are fairly easy to follow. There's a couple of tutorials online about this already, so I didn't bother making one myself. But it's fairly straightforward. You just open them up and take out these little springs that are here, and you put in new ones with O-rings, and you button everything back up. Fairly easy, straightforward, easy to follow. Later releases of this figure are going to come fixed already, so you're not going to have to open it up and fix it. Just these first releases are coming out where you have to fix them yourself. So not terribly a big deal. Definitely not a deal breaker. If you're a fan of Star Convoy, definitely still worth absolutely getting this figure. A couple other things that he comes with. He does come with a card. And that's pretty much it. I'm really not usually impressed by cards. So, you know, it's nice that they include them, I guess, but there it is. And finally, he does come with his instructions. Now, he does come packaged in robot mode, but the instructions, you'll notice, start him off from vehicle mode. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm thinking about, I may do a Let's Transform video on him. So I'll start him off from robot, go to truck, and then back to robot. But for the purposes of this video, and just to try and keep it short, I'm just going to start from from vehicle mode, because it's the way that I usually do my reviews, and also because the instructions have it that way. And then finally, we've got the actual figure itself. So here we have Star Convoy, Stellarus Prominion himself already in vehicle mode, and this thing is absolutely stunning, and it's huge. This thing is huge. Here in vehicle mode, Star Convoy is approximately 13.5 inches long, about 4.5 inches tall at the top of the cab. Here, 5.5 if you want to go to the top of the rifle there. Now, if you guys know me, if you follow my series, you know that I'm usually not a fan of storing the weapons so blatantly on top of the vehicles like this, but because the G1 figure did it, I find it acceptable in this case here. Check this out. This thing is just absolutely stunning. Check out all the details on this guy. The silver grille. Of course, he's, detailed in red with the silver cab. You got the blue details on the back. You got that stripe. I have put already insignia stickers on him, just so you know. So I put these on here. These are from Toy Hacks. There's one on each side, and then there's also going to be insignia stickers on his shoulders when we get to robot mode. Again, because I put those on there. Check out the translucent, kind of a tinted blue windows there. You got the black and silver guns here at the top. Silver wheels, rubber tires. They actually got rubber tires on here. Silver wheels, you got all those details coming all the way to the back. You got those tracks on the back. These tracks are also rubber, although they do not spin like the original figure did. You've got little wheels down here. These are what they're going to roll on. Not a whole lot of robot sticking out the bottom there, except for his robot chest, which again is actually G1 accurate, which is cool. Going around to the back, not a whole lot there. So now this figure is really only going to do, and of course he rolls. He rolls perfectly fine. This figure is only going to do the vehicle mode and the robot mode. It does not do the base mode, and it does not have the storage bins on the back like the G1 figure did. It looks like they thought about it, and then they didn't, because there are some panels down here. These panels are on hinges, and if you unlock these legs and slide them forward, you can actually, it's really kind of hard to get in there, unless you got a tool, because you really kind of got to get in there and move this panel forward, and then this opens up. And I'm not sure if they were going to maybe think about doing a base mode or a storage mode or maybe a transformation step, because you can see that the leg here, the foot itself, is on a rotating hinge. So maybe at some point they thought about maybe storing the foot in here for vehicle mode, and then they just kind of gave up, because these pieces of plastic here do not allow for the foot to rotate into the leg, which I think would have been cool if we would have been able to put these feet away. But as it is, those are there, and they currently just don't do anything. So we'll put that back in place and get back to the vehicle. Yeah, so we got, again, on the vehicle, we got the weapon can store up here at the top. Again, this is G1 accurate. What's really cool about the weapon is that the handle is on a hinge, so you can actually point this up and down, and you can also rotate it. The whole thing rotates. So this is basically just a big turret up here that you can point in any direction that you want. Super cool. And then you've got the twin guns up here at the front, and you can actually rotate these at the base, and then the guns themselves are individually articulated, so you can open them up as far as you want, or you can close them up as close as you want. And I typically just put about the tip of my thumb in there just to kind of open them up just enough. There you go. To kind of make them look a little dynamic. Now, let's bring in, for comparison, let's bring in the original G1 Star Convoy, and I don't know that I'm going to have enough room here to show them both off. There was something that bothered me about the vehicle mode on this guy that I couldn't quite put my finger on at first, and once I got them both side by side, I think I figured it out. So what was bothering me about the vehicle mode on this one is that it kind of looks, it's a beautiful vehicle mode, don't get me wrong, especially in hand. When I saw pictures and videos of it, I was like, I don't know, there's something off about that vehicle. Once I got it in hand, I'm like, man, I'm crazy. This thing looks great. It looks fantastic, but there's still something off. And I think I figured it out. And it's the cab itself, right? So for lack of a better term, this vehicle mode almost looks a little Fisher-Pricey, or a little like kitty mode kind of a thing. I don't know quite how to describe it, right? And I think the reason for that is because the cab It's so big in comparison to the rest of the vehicle. When you look at the original, the cab was really small, and it really gave off the illusion that this huge convoy, this container that he carried in the back was just absolutely huge and massive, which is supposed to be, because it turns into a base, it turns into a city, and it's also got containers for Micromasters and a launching gimmick and all of that. So this thing is supposed to be huge in contrast to the cab. So the cab is a lot smaller. This guy didn't do that. So we're missing like this detail, which is one of my favorite details about the G1 figure, is this kind of this hood up here, this Rodimus Prime hood that you got up here. I absolutely love this detail about the original. We don't have that with this guy. And then the cab is just, at first I was like, maybe it's the shape of the cab. It's kind of like more pointed. It looks more like a lunar vehicle than it does an actual truck itself. Maybe that's what it is. I think it's not so bad. I actually do kind of dig the whole space vehicle kind of design that we're going for here. It's the size of the cab. That's what throws it off for me. I'm such a huge fan of this design that's what threw this off for me. But again, once I figured that out, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, but I can totally see what they're going for here. And it makes for such a beautiful robot mode. So it's not that I dislike the vehicle mode. It's there was something that was bugging me about it that I just couldn't quite put my finger on. And I think that I figured out that it was that just right there. But here you go. So you can see them compared side by side. In case you're bothered by like the leg detail here at the top of the vehicle or whatever, the original one did the exact same thing. So all of the things that this vehicle or this figure is doing, it's taking its cues from the original. And I think that's just absolutely fantastic. So let's get this guy out of the way and we'll get started on the transformation for this guy. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, of course, take the weapon off, and this is just going to slide right out. And it almost looks like a keyhole right up there, and here's the weapon itself. Absolutely beautiful weapon. And like I said, this handle is on a hinge here, so you can move this back and forth, just like that. Beautiful, beautiful weapon. Check that out. Okay, getting into transformation for this guy. There are some paneling bits, so getting into the vehicle mode. There's a lot of panels here that we have to like just kind of line up and snap everything together, but it kind of seems a little cumbersome at first, but once you get everything lined up just right, it looks and holds. It looks amazing and it holds just right. So there's all that. So we are going to start. Let's start right here at the top. We're going to take this whole section and just unclip it. All of these tabs, you got two tabs here and here, also on the other side, that are tabbed in there and there. So lift this up and then just slide it forward. And then we're just going to start unsnapping panels, right? So the tracks right here, these are clipped in right here, and it's on the double hinge here. So just pop these up and then bring them up on this double hinge, and then we're going to snap them into place. We're probably just going to let them float for a little bit actually right now. Just bring that up and let it float for the time being as we unsnap all of these up here. So this is going to get huge. This is going to be difficult to show. So we've got panels. Let's see, how can I do this? So these side panels are tabbed in right there to the leg itself. So you just pull these up to the side a little bit, just enough to let you extend the legs and lock them into place. These back of these panels were onto these slots right here and right here. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and push these in and just kind of lock them into place, separate the legs, take the toes and the heels and bring them down. They are tabbed into place, so you're actually untapping these, and then you're going to move the whole foot forward, and it doesn't really lock into place, it just kind of slides there. So again, toe down, heel down, and then slide forward ever so slightly. Legs are pretty much done, and yeah, this thing's going to get huge. I don't know how I'm going to be able to show this off. My new review table at my new house is so much smaller than my old one. All right, so we are going to take, let's see, these panels here. We're just going to start unsnapping these. Unsnap. Let's see. These are snapped right there. There's a tab right there. And that's snapped into the side of the vehicle. So bring that up. Again, you see how those are tabbed in there and there. So just bring this up. This is really neat. So you got this little hinge piece here. So this is used to cover up that gap there in vehicle mode. If this needs to be down here to hold in robot mode, but if it was stayed there, you'd have that big gap right there in vehicle mode. So this actually just rotates up for the vehicle mode to fill that in, which is really neat. So just make sure that you bring this down because there's a little hook there that you're going to need. So bring that up, and then this can come up. Again, rotate this piece around and bring this up. And we're going to start doing kind of a few things here all at once. I just had to adjust the camera there a little bit. So now we are going to go ahead and take the wheels here and just kind of bring them out. Do we need to do this yet? Yeah, we need to go ahead and get ready for this. So bring these out. We're going to kind of get a couple of steps here, kind of halfway. Everything needs to transform half away to let everything else kind of move out of the way. So just bring these out, leave them here, bring these out, leave those there. Bring these up and rotate the waist. Might as well while we're at it. Okay, so the top of the vehicle or the front of the vehicle here, we're going to separate these guys. We're not going to do a whole lot with this right now. We're just going to separate it and just kind of move it this way so that it can be out of the way. Just enough to bring this up all the way like so. Okay? Now, we're going to take these panels here and these are going to slide out, I think. Yeah, they're supposed to slide out. But am I ready to slide them out yet? I don't know. Let me check. One thing I am going to give this figure is that things... There it is. All right, so there's a tab right there. So we want to lift up on that a little bit, and then that's going to unlock and let us slide that out. And yeah, well, this figure, again, like I was saying, one thing I'm going to give this figure is that things lock into place and they stay on very securely. That's going to allow us to bring these up and fold these over. And now we're ready to put those away. So what we're going to do is we're going to come around the front, open the chest, very, very, very carefully bring out the head. The head, this is one gripe I am going to give this figure. There is not enough clearance here in this chest cavity for the head to move in and out smoothly. And this is, and these ear pieces you're going to see here in a moment are also articulated. And so this is very nerve-wracking, trying to get this head out of here. And of course, trying to do it on camera is going to be even more difficult. Yeah, this is actually the one piece of the one part of the transformation I don't like. And I usually don't have this much trouble with the ears getting in the way. Of course, because I'm on camera, things are going to move in a way they're not supposed to. Because I'm trying to look through the camera. So... See, these antenna pieces are articulated. They open up. And you open them up when you get to the robot mode. But, man, they are just catching and opening on me now. They've decided to want to do this now. There we go. There's those, and there's those, and then move the head up and out of the way. That is the one part of the transformation I don't like. I think this cavity should have been just a smidge wider. Because those antenna... It's really kind of nerve-wracking trying to get those antennas through there, and you think you're going to break them all the time. So anyway, get the head out. There's a tab right there. We're going to close this up and lock that into place. That is now going to allow us to take these panels and fold them in, get them into the cavity, and they will also lock into place once they line up properly. There we go. So that's not locked in. So now we can bring this backpack piece down. We can bring the wheels back, and these are going to lock in right there. So you got three tabs. You got that tab is going to go into that slot, and then the wheels are going to tab in here and here. So do that. And now we can go ahead and straighten out the arms and bring these down. We're almost done. Go ahead and untab the front of the cab from the side of the arm right there. Oh, before you do that, the wheels are tabbed in place. So you want to untab the wheels, rotate them up, and then we're going to tab them up here. Now we can go ahead and untab this. This is tabbed in here and here. So we can bring these down and straighten them out. Same thing on this side. We're going to untab the wheels here, rotate them up, lock them into that tab right there. Untab the arm here and here. Bring the arm down, straighten it out. Open up these panels, bring out the fists. And then you can open up the fist, straighten out the thumb, and just kind of get it posed the way you like it. A lot of articulation points on this guy. One more time. Open that up, bring out the fist, close that back up, There we go. And now we'll just go ahead and get them all straightened out. And here is Stellarus in robot mode. And I forgot to do this. I just spent like 2 minutes talking about this. The antennas are also going to spread out. There we go. Now there is Stellarus in robot mode. He looks absolutely stunning. Here in robot mode, Stellarus stands approximately 13 inches tall. This guy is absolutely massive, and as you can see here, I don't have to tell you, he's absolutely stunning. This is a picture-perfect representation of the Star Convoy that we were given in that comic back in the day. Well, we weren't given. It was in Japan, but you know what I mean, right? So, yeah, just going all the way around, just check him out. This is a perfect robot. There's no cable hanging out. There's no hollow bits, nothing. Check this out. This is, again, it's a perfect representation of that model that we got for Star Convoy. This is absolutely stunning. I love everything about this. And Star Convoy, again, being one of my favorite versions of Prime ever, this thing is just stunning. Again, Autobot symbols there, insignia symbols. I put those on there. Those are toy hacks just because they got to be on there. You'll see when I compare them to the G1 figure. You'll see that. All right, coming in close. Can we come in close? This thing is so big. This thing is really hard to shoot. It is so big. All right, let's come in close like this. Check out this head sculpt. Okay, so this is not, if you're not used to this guy, if you're not familiar with Star Convoy, you know, this is not exactly the most traditional Optimus Prime head. Again, if you're familiar with Star Convoy and the Battlestars comic, then you know where this is coming from, and you know that that's dead on, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And again, you'll see that when I compare to the G1 figure. You got that gold star right there on the chest, and you got this really cool stylized, like the windows with the headlights here and whatnot. Yeah, it's not the actual vehicle chest. It never was. He just kind of had that there because he was an evolution of Optimus Prime, who always looked like that on the chest. So that's why it's there. So, yeah, big, beefy arms. Check that. I mean, he looks powerful and muscular, right? And just kind of going all the way down, you got all the black and gold details, silver legs. You got the blue, or silver thighs, the blue legs, again with the gold kneecaps and the gold details and whatnot. You got those tracks on the side there. Yeah, they found a really, really nice way of cleaning up that whole track system and actually getting it on the leg without building up a whole bunch of kibble. They did a really, really good job on that. Articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint, so up and down, a lot of really wide range of motion. Check this out. All the way up that way, all the way down, inquisitive tilting, side to side, all the way around. And then the neck, the base of the neck, you can move it forward. So if you wanted to use that, I mean, it's there for transformation, but you can use it to your advantage if you want. The shoulders, I usually like to bring them up like that just to kind of give them higher shoulders. But the transformation joint here can be used for posability. The arms can go forward and backward. Ratchet, really nice heavy ratchet. They can go all the way around. They also have another joint right there, so you can actually bring the arm all the way out like so. Rotation at the bicep, a double bend at the elbow. Wrists can rotate. The thumb is on a ball joint, and then each finger is individually articulated and has 3 pin joints at the base, mid knuckle, and tip knuckle right there. Very, very nice. You have a waist rotation. You also have an ab crunch. Check that out. With a little bit of a slight or a soft ratchet. So you can actually pick your desired level of ab crunch. Isn't that cool? All right, so the legs. We got to move these skirts out of the way. Skirts can move out of the way. That's going to help us. The ones on the back do not move. But you got a universal joint here, again, with heavy ratchet, so you can go in and out that far. You can go forward, and you can go back that far. You cannot go any further than that because the skirt on the back doesn't move. You got a rotation at the top of the thigh. You got about that much bend at the knee. I think there's another, yeah. So there's 2, there you go. There is a double hinge. There are two joints there at the knee, so you can bend that far back. They're just really, really heavy. And again, the ankles or the feet, you know, can go forward and backward just a little bit. They can also tilt that far. So they can tilt a whole 90 degrees, which is really, really cool. And then the tips of the toe and the actual heel can move up and down a little bit for transformation. And you got that forward and that backward. Something that's weird about this heel, because it bends back to clean it up for transformation, there isn't really like a locking mechanism or anything to keep it straight in robot mode. So this tends to push back and make him kind of back heavy. A lot of people just kind of push the foot back and leave it back like that. What I tend to do is when I pose them, I just bring these down and then pose them and then let them just kind of, you know, land where they will. And then he usually just stands up fine for me that way. So, all right, let's give him his weapon. So weapon holding is very Masterpiece style. So let's open the hand up all the way and we'll move the thumb. And you're going to notice that there is a slot right there on his palm. Now let's bring the weapon up, and you'll notice that the weapon handle itself has these two tabs, one on each side. So you're literally just going to tab in the weapon into his hand, and then just close the fingers around it. Move the thumb up. There you go. And then he's going to hold his weapon. Very nice. Absolutely. I'm telling you. This is like the perfect, this is really hard to shoot just because he's such a large figure. So if I sound like I'm struggling, it's only because my back hurts. He's huge and my back hurts, and I'm doing a lot of reaching here to try and get him into place. When I'm not in camera, this thing is an absolute joy to fiddle with, to mess with, to transform. The whole thing with the head, yes, it's a little difficult and jarring, but not so bad as it looked here on camera. I'm trying to do it in front of the camera and show you the steps and all of that, and of course things tend to go bad in front of the camera. When the camera's not involved, it's actually not as jarring. And this thing has been an absolute joy of a figure for me to have over the last couple of days. So, yeah, just do keep in mind, I am pushing 50 and I am overweight, and I'm a really big figure on a very small table, and I'm reaching really forward to try and get to show you everything. So if I sound like I'm struggling, it's not because of the figure, it's because of the environment and the situation that I'm in, I promise. For comparison, here is G1 Star Convoy, which, again, one of the biggest figures in my collection, and here comes Stellarus and just absolutely dwarfs it. Look at this. It's just absolutely stunning. I know this figure is a brick. I know it's a brick, but it's such a fun figure because it's got all the play features. It turns into the base, and it has the walking mode and the driving mode and the launchers and all of that. And also, it's absolutely beautiful. This is just such a beautiful, I can't stop staring at this figure. It's so beautiful. So to get something like this, that looks exactly like this, but it's perfectly proportionate and articulated, this is just really such a treat. This is a figure that I've been waiting for a very, very long time, and I'm just really happy that it's finally here. And you know what? I think that about does it for the Mastermind Creations U01 Stellarus Prominion, or, you know, Star Convoy. What did you think of this figure? Let me know down in the comments. Give me some thumbs up. Subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I've got a donate button up there if you want to hit on that. I certainly would appreciate it. Please share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.